Fox News anchor Sandra Smith has been a fixture of the network since she joined in 2007. But while many of her colleagues try to court as much publicity as possible, Smith likes to keep her personal and professional life entirely separate. Sandra Smith graduated from Louisiana State University in 2003 with a degree in business, but it was only when she took advantage of a national student exchange program that she discovered her true calling. The Fox host explained to New Orleans Living magazine, "I loved French in high school. Then I discovered there was a French-speaking area in the United States, so I thought, that's it, I'm going down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went back home and just knew in my heart that I belonged in Louisiana, so I transferred to LSU."
LSU has an absolutely stunningly beautiful campus.
As part of an interview with the university, Smith revealed that her decision paid off tenfold. She explained, "I close my eyes because it's my happy place. I love to think about Baton Rouge and my time spent there. The people I met, the places I went, the food I tried. It was just such a unique experience that I'm forever grateful for. It really helped me start to look at what I wanted to do." Who knew that Smith was once a part of the same track and field team as Olympians Moon Ali and Lolo Jones? Yes, back in her college days, the Fox News staple was a talented long-distance runner who competed in steeplechase and cross-country. Even as recently as 2016, she still held LSU's third fastest time ever in the 3,000 meters.
LSU was just amazingly supportive, both of my academics and my athletics.
Smith first began running with her avid marathoner dad at the age of 5, and within 2 years she was doing 5Ks. And although her dad is now in his 70s, the pair still enjoy the occasional run together from time to time. In 2016, Smith told Runner's World how much she values a good run as part of her daily life, adding, "I have long days at work, which is why it's really important that I come home and just have that few minutes to myself to clear my head and go for a run. I love running. It's my escape. It's when I think best. With so much going on, running is no longer a chore or a stress to me. It's a getaway." Smith certainly knows what she's talking about when it comes to business. After graduating from LSU, she landed a research associate position at Aegis Capital Group. From there, she moved on to a similar role at New York City's Hermitage Capital Corporation, before taking on Director of Institutional Sales and Trading at Chicago's Terra Nova Institutional. Throughout her business career, Smith also represented her employers on various financial TV shows, and by 2007, Bloomberg Television came calling. Smith told Adweek in 2016, "The whole process was very organic. I decided to make a huge career change, moving to television after working in the institutional trading world, a field in which I had studied and achieved all of these fancy licenses. It was a very difficult decision, but that was my big break." Smith's first day at Terra Nova Institutional was certainly an eventful one. As well as progressing her career, it was also the day she first set eyes on her future husband, John Connolly. In a 2013 interview with the Chicago Tribune, Smith remembered the moment, sharing, "As we made our way around to the last person on the desk, there was John, the only person paying me no attention. When prodded, the tall, bow-tie-wearing, wavy-haired, nerdy but handsome guy turned around, smiled, and introduced himself." For his part, Connolly claimed he knew instantly that he'd be walking down the aisle with the new recruit. Connolly actually left the firm within 2 weeks, but the pair stayed in touch, and after enjoying a proper first date at the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, romance began to blossom. Although Smith later moved to New York to take a job at Bloomberg Television, the pair made their long-distance relationship work. In 2010, they said "I do" with a ceremony at Chicago's Holy Name Cathedral. Connolly later joined his wife in the Big Apple after accepting a Director of Marketing position with the CME Group, and the couple have remained there happily ever since.
I need to help our audience understand. I need to know more. They need to know more.
Sandra Smith may work for a news organization that leans toward the right, but that doesn't mean she won't call out prominent Republicans when needed. In 2020, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany was attempting to defend Donald Trump after he appeared to give his blessing to controversial conspiracy theorist group QAnon. After McEnany claimed that Trump had never explicitly mentioned them, Smith reminded her that, just 24 hours earlier, he had talked about them.
His words were he has heard about them and that they are people that love our country. It was puzzling to many people.
The following year, Smith grilled Brad Raffensperger, Georgia's Secretary of State, about the leak of an alleged incriminating phone call with the president.
So why did you go the avenue of leaking a phone call with the president? I mean, don't you worry about the precedent that sets?
In 2014, Smith told The Hollywood Reporter that she strives to seek out the real story over her own opinion. She said, "I don't include personal politics in my journalism. Even if my personal belief is in line with the discussion, you'll see me play devil's advocate just to make sure the other side is represented." Even the most professional of news anchors can make a rookie mistake once in a while. And Smith went viral thanks to an interview with Washington, D.C. lawyer Cleta Mitchell, who had doubts about the official outcome of the 2020 presidential election. As Mitchell was detailing her views about the legitimacy of the results, Entertainment Tonight noted, Smith, who believed that her mic had been turned off at the time, subsequently remarked to co-host Trace Gallagher, What is happening? Trace, we've called it.
Just because CNN says, or even Fox News says that somebody's president doesn't make them president. So I think everybody wants to know that.
Of course, Smith's disbelief over Mitchell's claims soon became the talk of social media. Smith seems to have kept quiet about the goof, but Mitchell later doubled down on her stance, tweeting, "I'm happy to be considered a nut job because I believe in the rule of law." Smith was perhaps always destined to pursue a career in business. As the host recalled to Politico in 2015, she grew up in Wheaton, Illinois in a family of traders, and her father, in particular, was keen to immerse her in the world of stocks and shares from a very young age. Smith recalled, "My dad brought me down to the trading floor as a little kid. I always took to finance. I always took to money. I always took to business. I studied it in college. It wasn't always my intention to be on television, but it sort of happened that way. I started trading, started going on television, and it was just a natural progression into what I am doing now." Bringing things neatly full circle, Smith ended up reporting at the very same marketplace she frequented as a child, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Smith explained to Alistair and Payne in 2012, "My dad was an integral part in introducing me to business and finance. I was the youngest of 6 kids, one of 5 girls. He was really good at showing each one of us what he did and what was going on downtown." In 2016, Roger Ailes resigned from his position as Fox News chairman following several allegations of harassment, including those from former employees Megyn Kelly and Gretchen Carlson. But the disgraced media mogul wasn't shunned by everyone at his old network. In fact, several hosts came forward to publicly defend him. Smith told The Hollywood Reporter in the wake of the scandal, "I was very surprised and a little bit confused." Smith also appeared to take umbrage with Carlson's claims that Ailes had demanded she wear outfits that showed off her body, adding, "Amazing. A television executive who cares what his television screen looks like. I mean, this isn't a shocker. I do work with women who do like to look good and feel good. Many of us are athletes and we work out. Some of us work out together. That's just the environment we're in. And image is important, believe it or not, when you're on a television screen." Ailes died a year later, before any further legal action could be taken.
I'm Trish Regan, along with my co-moderator Sandra Smith.
In 2015, Fox News reportedly put all other networks to shame by becoming the first to hire 2 women to moderate a televised presidential debate. And alongside Trish Regan, Sandra Smith was chosen to be the record breaker. The event included then-Republican presidential candidates Chris Christie, Bobby Jindal, Mike Huckabee, and Rick Santorum. But Smith told People beforehand that her own history-making shouldn't be the focus. She said, "We don't have to press the gender issue. It naturally comes through in our conversations that we are women, and women naturally bring a different perspective. It's an organic thing." Having helped to secure a ratings hit for a news network that week, Regan and Smith were later invited to chair another debate featuring Carly Fiorina, Mike Huckabee, and Rick Santorum in January 2016. In a pre-match interview with Elle, Smith was once again keen to point out that her gender shouldn't come into play. She noted, "I certainly do things differently because I'm a woman, but I don't force the issue. I don't say, because I'm a woman, I do X or Y. Being a woman is enough. Whatever happens, happens organically, whether it's anchoring a show or asking questions at a debate." Smith first became a mother in 2013 with the birth of her daughter, before she and Connolly added to their family 2 years later with the arrival of their son. And parenthood initially allowed the host to take a break from the constant stresses and pressures of the daily news cycle. Speaking with Elle in 2016, just ahead of her second stint as presidential debate moderator, Smith recalled, "When I went on maternity leave, I went off the grid completely. You need that. You need to bond with your child, and that's so important. But the self-professed news junkie couldn't keep her eyes off the world's ongoings for too long. Within weeks, she found herself immersed again in the headlines. But as far as whether her home life affected her role as one of the network's most dependable hosts, Smith says yes, and for the better. She said, "Motherhood opened my eyes and broadened my perspective in so many ways. I'm better at my job for it, no question." Alongside her daily duties as a Fox News host and mother of two, Smith also somehow finds the time to fit in a slew of hobbies. She's an avid golfer, and as a keen pheasant and grouse hunter, she's just as handy with a gun as she is with a putter. In a 2015 chat with Outdoor Life, Smith revealed that she developed a love of nature in her teens. But it was a skeet shooting date with her future husband that introduced her to the joys of hunting. She recalled, "John taught me the circle of life and exposed me to beautiful land and beautiful hunting dogs. It was the most amazing experience." Having started her career on the testosterone-heavy trading floor, Smith has no problem dealing with those who hold old-fashioned views about the sport. She says, "I find hunters to be overwhelmingly gracious, wonderful people. So when I say this as the exception. But some men will challenge a woman in the field and say, 'Oh, she can't possibly be a good shot.' But those people are like that in the rest of their daily lives, not just when they hunt." It seems fair to say that the Smith household has a bit of money in the bank. Her husband, John Connolly, has been in the financial industry since 2002, having worked as a chief marketing officer for Azul Partners, Inc., and as a director of product marketing for the CME Group. Smith herself has been an invaluable part of the Fox News lineup since the mid-2000s. And having learned the tricks of the trading floor from her dad, the host no doubt knows how to be shrewd with her cash. It's little wonder then that the former hedge fund account manager is said to have a net worth of $6 million. But how does that compare to her Fox News colleagues? Let's just say Smith has a ways to go in beating the network's top earner, with Sean Hannity rumored to have a net worth of a staggering $250 million. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite news anchors are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.